fighter. Lightning inspired. Fight.
ask you about love. Probably quote me a sonnet. You'd never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Oh my God, put an angel on earth just for you. Could rescue you from the depths of hell, and you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel.
All right. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Back again. for another lesson. Man, I always get excited when it's time to do another lesson. I have so much fun doing this, brothers and sisters. Before I get started, brothers and sisters, doing, some talking, if you guys can hear me well, because I got to do the infamous mic test, as you know. If there's no in and out sounds, if there's no grainy noise, if there's no popping sounds, if there's no, just no weird distortion, just go ahead and put a 7 in the chat so I know everything is all good. Sister Salika, it is good to see you all as well. Just as much as joy y'all get seeing us, we get just as much as joy seeing y'all. Now, before we get started, brothers and sisters, we ask that you guys pray for Sister Madeline Cross. She has a puppy that she loves dearly. That's in a veterinarian clinic, but she ain't got no funds or no money to help her puppy. And so now, Sister Madeline Cross, I'm more than willing to give to you, but you have to just set some up, maybe like a GoFundMe or something like that, so that way we can post to the brothers and sisters, so that way we can give to you so you can help your puppy, because we know that's a family member of yours that you love dearly, and hey, we're more than happy to give. I know I'm more than happy to give. Yeah. You always got brothers and sisters say that they willing to give and stuff. Well, here you go. Because one thing we got to understand, brothers and sisters, is we are the church. Yeah. Because we want to give to some building, but no, it's the people. The people are the church. And we ought to help one another. And so, brothers and sisters, we should help Sister Madeline Cross out. Sister, we just ask that you set something up to where we can help you. Because I know I'm more than willing to give. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, with that being said, gotta let you guys know, especially for any newcomers that have joined our ministry, brothers and sisters, as I always tell you, here at Israel's Church, we are only interested in opening up the Bible and breaking the Bible down, because that's what this is all about, getting edification. This book is just too big to have all of these distractions away from the word. Because I'm gonna be honest, brothers and sisters, this word has never been broken down to us before. There's a lot of theories and a lot of speculation, but nobody will actually get in the Bible and break this thing down. And that's what I aim to do. And so, hey, if you don't like it, you don't like our style, just the pure word of God, I always say you can get to stepping, man. That's just how I feel about it. Because we don't mind worldly things over here. Now, we may use something in the world to bring home a point about a spiritual meaning, but we don't care about the world and what the world is doing. The world is going to do what it do. Revelation told us what this world was going to do, so we don't pay no mind to that. Now, we watch, but we don't let it keep us up at night. We don't let it worry us, because God has ordained these powers to do what they're doing. And what they're doing is forwarding God's will. Everybody is scared to death over AI and all of this stuff. Listen, this is the way the Lord wanted to go, because this is going to help forward his plan on this earth to do what? To redeem his people. Because that's what this is all leading back to. This is all leading back to God coming back and getting his people, the 12 tribes of Israel. This is literally leading to our redemption. The end of the heathen is our beginning. And we're going to see a lot more heartache, and we're going to see a lot more pain on this earth. It's just the most important thing that you need to do is make sure that you're walking with God. No matter what happens, no matter who fall around you, you got to keep walking with God, just you and him. Yep, we have fellow servants who we come together in fellowship with, but at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, this is an individual walk. I can't be righteous for you, and you can't be righteous for me. We all got to walk our own walk. Even my sister and my mother, they right here. We talk the word together and everything, but at the end of the day, we have to make sure individually that we're walking right. Mm-hmm. Because I notice a lot of Israel, they got this clique faith, that clique-based faith. This is an individual walk. As a collective, we serve God. But individually, we have our own relationship with the Most High. And you ought to let no man or no woman get in the way of that relationship that you have with the Most High. Not me, not your pastor, not your parents, your siblings, uncle, auntie, nobody. It's you and the Most High walking. That's the way I see it. And for the and another message for the newcomers is, hey man, I know it's tough getting all of this word at once. It's getting broken down the way it's getting broken down, but just hang in there. Even if it's some stuff you don't understand, just hang in there. The Lord will reveal it to you. But the most important thing is that you're here. The most important thing is that you're hearing the word. And you're not hearing the ramblings of a man. But all right, brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and we are going to get into Hebrews chapter 5. This shouldn't be a long chapter. It's a pretty short chapter, pretty self-explanatory. But, I'm going to still break a few things down. And we know in the previous chapter, the writer of Hebrews was again establishing the superiority of Christ as the high priest. And he was also warning the new 12 tribes of Israel, the new nation of Israel that was born in the wilderness, not the wilderness that our fathers was in, but the wilderness of these nations that we're in. He said, hey, don't succumb to that evil heart of unbelief that your fathers of old succumbed to, because he's like, listen, you will fall right here in this wilderness, just like your fathers did. And when he's talking about falling in the wilderness, he's not talking about the first death. He's talking about the second death. You will be outside of the camp. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and get into Hebrews chapter 5. So if you want, brothers and sisters, get your notebook out, get a pen, get a pencil out, and, take some notes. And I want to let you guys know, as I'm teaching, I be learning. The Lord give me understanding on the lesson and I'll write it down and everything. And then when I'm teaching it, I get even more understanding. I just love how that works out. All right, so Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to read, brothers and sisters, we're going to read verse 1. Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 1. And just remember too, whenever you're studying the Bible, always ask questions. Because when you ask questions, brothers and sisters, that's what leads to understanding. Don't just read over stuff. Ask a question. Who, what, when, where. Mm-hmm. That's important to ask. And what that does is it keeps you from guessing. All right. Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 1. Mom, when you get there, go ahead.
For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins.
Now, brothers and sisters, there is a total of 4 questions that you can ask in this verse 1 right here, but we only going to ask 3 questions because we're going to get to the 4th one later. What they say, well, we'll worry about that later. Yeah. It says, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sin. So first, the thing we need to ask, brothers and sisters, is what is a high priest, brothers and sisters? What is that? What is a high priest? Chat, can you tell me what is the high priest? And you know the high priest is actually represents more than one thing. So let me know. What is a high priest? What is the high priest? Somebody said Christ's representative. What is a high priest, brothers and sisters? For every high priest, what is the high priest? Said an intercessor, a mediator and the union between the temple and the people. Okay. A mediator between man and God. Christ's followers, a mediator, a leader, a chief advocate of a belief, authority, okay, supreme leader of Israel, a servant who God and the people of a servant who served God and the people of Israel, supreme leader, okay. In some aspects, people say the high priest is one of the closest to God, but we should all be the ones closest to God. A religious leader, Christ-like, a teacher, leader. Okay, brothers and sisters, so a high priest represents many things, but we know the main thing is a high priest is a mediator. Okay, and not only is the high priest a mediator, but the high priest is also a governor. The high priest is also God, G-O-D. That's what a high priest is. A high priest is a ruler, a governor. The government is on the shoulders of the high priest because the high priest, brothers and sisters, was responsible for making sure the government that God gave him was instituted in the land. That's what a high priest was. The high priest had the government of God on his shoulders, and he made sure that that this government was implemented among the people. And that is very important, brothers and sisters, to understand. That's why the high priest and the priest, they was the lawgiver. But when our people hear that, they just think, oh yeah, see the law. No, we talking about government. And that's what the high priest's job was. They was the chief. They were the king. They were the God. They were the representative of God on this earth, the high priest. Now, with that being said, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in the things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifice for sin. So the second question, brothers and sisters, it says, for every high priest taken from among men. Brothers and sisters, taken from among what men? Because we have some Christians, they'll read that. See, taken from among men. No, taken from among what men? Let me know, brothers and sisters, taken from among what men? It's important that we ask ourselves these things. And we ain't talking about nothing deep, just the basics. Taken from among men, what men? And that's right, brothers and sisters, Israel. That's who God chose the high priest from among, Israel. So when it says from among men, it's talking about among Israel. But no worries. Let's go to Exodus 28 and verse 1. Because in Hebrews, the writer said from among men, but Exodus is going to tell you what men. Because you got to understand the writers of these letters, or the composers of these letters, you got to understand they wasn't just pulling stuff from thin air. Because remember, there was no New Testament, brothers and sisters. We have to keep that in mind. There was no New Testament at the time. They was pulling back from the law and the prophets, because they had revelation of what the law and the prophets was talking about. Okay, and when you get there, Exodus 28, and go ahead and read verse 1.
And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him.
Now he's talking to Moses, and we know Moses is of the 12 tribes of Israel, and so is his brother Aaron. Specifically, they are from the tribe of Levi, which is one of the 12 tribes among the children of Israel. Okay, go ahead.
From among the children of Israel.
Okay, now keep going.
That he may minister unto me in the priest's office.
Because the priest's office was responsible for the establishment of the government in the land. That's what the priest's office was for. Go ahead.
Even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, and Aaron's sons.
And Aaron's son. But see, it say from among the children of Israel, and we see in Hebrews 5 and 1, it says from among men. But when you read Exodus 28, you find out who the men are. Those men are the children of Israel. Now, why did we ask that question? Why did we go there? We asked that question. We went there because I want to let you know that the same people that the priest was chosen from, them was the same people the priest ministered to. And that was the earthly priest. And I'm here to tell you today that the heavenly priest, being Christ, he was sent to minister to the same people, the children of Israel. Same people, brothers and sisters. This did not change. There was no flip. They're not ministering to the nations, right? Because you have Israelites, they love the heathen. No, nothing changed, brothers and sisters. The earthly high priest and the heavenly high priest is ministering to the same people, bringing forth the government to the same people, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. That does not change, brothers and sisters, because we are dealing with a bloodline. God chose a bloodline of people to be kings, to be priests, and above all, to be what? God. G-O-D. Or gods, plural. And he chose this nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, to be the rulers, to be the gods on this earth. That is not extended to the heathen. That promise is to this bloodline. From Adam to Israel has this promise, this hope has gone forth. And I know that's hard, especially a lot of you Christians that are joining us over here at Israel's church. I know that's hard for a lot of y'all because you've been taught, your brains have been beat to smithereens by the colonizer with all of this diversity and multiculturalism. Now, that's that bull junk that they teach you. See, they don't believe in any of that. In this kingdom, you are not equal with them. They play around and they laugh, but when they get mad, they show you that you just a nigger. You a slave. And don't ever forget your place. And if it's any Israelite, I'm just telling you, if it's any Israelite in the chat that's got any problem with that, get they behind out of here. Go ahead, Zahar.
But just to back up what you were saying about Jesus came to minister to some people, that's Matthew 15:24. He says himself, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
See? Go ahead and pull that up, Mom, so that way they can see it.
It's book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24.
In verse 24. Here we go. And I'm going to read it. It says, but he answered and said, I am not sent, but this is the heavenly high priest. I am sent not but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So this high priest, this one Christ, was sent to the same people that the earthly high priest was sent to. Sent to minister to the same people, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. To do what? To institute this government. You had something you want to say, Mom?
And so that also lets you know when Peter speaks of that, but we're going to be a chosen generation, a royal priesthood and a holy nation. He's still speaking to the children of Israel.
Same people.
But as you say, the new tribes of Israel.
But the new 12 tribes. And the problem with our people is when they cross over from the Old Testament to the New Testament, I mean, they just completely forget everything. And a lot of it, too, is because our people, they don't know the Greek history.
Right.
They don't understand how to fit the sect of the Pharisees and Sadducees. They don't understand how they came about. When they hear Greek and Gentiles, they're thinking of the heathen.
Yeah.
Oh, you got something you want to say? Oh, go ahead. Oh.
Just one more witness.
Mm.
In Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
Because remember you were saying that the high priest was a governor.
Yeah, high priest is
Also,
a governor. That's exactly what it was.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor.
A governor.
That shall rule my people Israel.
Or a what? A high priest.
A high priest.
Right.
Because that's what the high priest's job was to take the government that God gave him and institute it among the people. And the problem is, when we're reading the Bible, we're too religious, brothers and sisters. Throw that religious mess out of here. We are not dealing with religion. And our people see everything through the eyes of religion because that's what your colonizer did to you. Yeah, being a good little boy and good little girl for them. The gospel of subservience, that's right. The gospel of pacification. But brothers and sisters, this is about nationhood. This is not about being no good boy and no good girl. Throw that crap in the garbage. All right. Now, the third question. It's technically 4, but we'll deal with the fourth one a little bit later, a few scriptures down or a few verses down. So it says that the high priest may offer what? Both gifts and sacrifices for sins, or that's to say for transgression against God. And we know the high priest was a mediator. Now, brothers and sisters, offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins for what? Why offer gifts and sacrifices for sins? Offer gifts and sacrifices for sins for what? That's a question. For what? For what, brothers and sisters? That the high priest may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins for what? For what? Not atonement, because it's already telling you right there for sins. No, brothers and sisters, for what? For unbelief, for breaking the law? Nope. For what? That he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins for what? Or let me just say it this way then. Offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins to make what? Offer gifts and sacrifices for sins to make what? All right, brothers and sisters. So, the high priest made both gifts and sacrifices of sins to do what? Make peace. To make peace, brothers and sisters. Ultimately, to undo the transgression of Adam. So that what can happen? So that way we can go back to being the people of God. We can go back to being God. So we could go back to being free. That way we could be made free from bondage, from death. The same bondage and death that we're experiencing right now. Because when Adam transgressed, brothers and sisters, there was no more peace. It was only wrath. Because Adam's story is our story. And when Adam transgressed, guess what? He was sentenced to what? Bondage. He was sentenced to labor. He was sentenced to death. Literally, death meaning his condition, and death as in he literally died. And so this high priest was sent by God essentially in an attempt to undo those things, to make peace. But the problem is, brothers and sisters, is though the earthly high priests offered gifts and sacrifices for sins to do what? To make peace. They couldn't make the perfect peace. They made imperfect peace, a temporary peace. Why? Because the issue was with the high priest itself. And we're going to get into that. Verse 2 and 3. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 2 and 3. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 2 and 3. Go ahead.
Who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way?
Because basically, who can have compassion on the ignorant, on them that are out of the way? Because essentially, the high priest was a voucher or a representative on behalf of the people to God. Now, he say, basically the high priest would tell the father essentially this: listen, I know they're evil, they're laden with sins, and they've transgressed. They're ignorant, they hard-headed. But Lord, I understand what these people are going through. I understand the temptations. I understand the temptations of the flesh. And Lord, I ask that you accept these people. Now, God would accept them, but the problem was the Lord didn't accept the earthly high priest either, because the earthly high priest was also a sinner. So he couldn't take the earthly high priest as being a perfect representative, a perfect voucher, because they too were a sinner just like the people. But if you was perfect and did all according to my will, and you ask me and say, Lord, accept these people who are not perfect on my behalf, I would accept them. But the problem is I can't accept them on your behalf because you're a sinner, which means I got beef with you.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, that's like, for instance, right, you got an enemy that want to throw hands with you, right? That's what they say, want to throw hands with you. Okay, but then you got another person that come up to you and they say, hey man, don't fight this guy over here, man. Just kind of leave be. But the problem is the person that came up to you said that was another enemy that you got beef with. Why am I going to listen to an enemy to tell me not to go after another enemy?
Right.
Because the high priest was a sinner, so they too were enemies of God. And so they could not bring forth perfect peace between what? God and man. Because they were an imperfect high priest. They were an imperfect representative. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? Okay. Who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way, because the earthly high priest, being that he was in the flesh with his brothers and sisters, those that he was over, the children of Israel, he could relate to them because he was in the flesh too. But keep reading, there was an issue though. Go ahead. For that
he himself also is compassed with infirmity.
And the problem isn't that he's compassed with infirmity, but it's due to the infirmity that he's sinning. But Christ was able to be compassed with the infirmity without sinning.
Yes, sir.
Verse 3.
And by reason hereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself, to offer for sins.
It's because the earthly high priest was inferior to the heavenly high priest, because the earthly high priest was compassed with infirmity and did what? Sin. And so that's why he had to offer sacrifices for sin, not only for the people, but also for himself. Okay. Now I'm trying to make sure I don't overstep the lesson. I'm trying to make sure I go in order. Okay. So essentially the earthly high priests of Israel, they were ineffective because they were sinners. This is why the earthly high priest had to continue making those sacrifices daily and yearly. Why? Because they couldn't bring forth that perfect sacrifice that the Father was looking for to make peace once and for all. Why? Because the high priest was my enemy. I need a high priest that ain't my enemy, that can bring forth this perfect sacrifice to make the perfect peace. And that's where Christ comes in. I'm trying to say it the way it makes sense. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's go to Leviticus chapter 4. But see, it was needful that this high priest, though, was in the flesh, because they would be able to relate to Israel's temptation, being that they too were in the flesh. So essentially, the earthly high priest, they were the perfect representative in the sense of they were able to relate to the temptations Israel went through, but they were imperfect in the sense of they were sinners as well, unable to bring forth the perfect peace. So Leviticus chapter 4, and we're going to read verse 3 and 4. And when you get there, go ahead.
If the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he have sinned, a young bullock without blemish.
See, the priest that is anointed do the sin according to the people. But see, Christ, he didn't do the sin according to the people. He endured to the death of the cross. Go ahead.
A young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head and kill the bullock before the Lord.
That's right. And the amazing thing is about this is the Lord Christ. He became the offerer and the offering. He was all in one. That's amazing.
Yes.
But it says, let me see if I want to go over this. Yeah, it says, then let him bring for his sin, which he hath sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. And that had to keep being repeated every year. Every year this had to be repeated, brothers and sisters. Because why? There was no peace with the high priest or the people. That's why the sacrificing had to continue. But once Christ came, brothers and sisters, the sacrificing what? And the oblations did what? They ceased.
Yes.
Because Christ was able to bring forth that perfect offering, being what? Himself. Effectively undoing what had happened to Adam. Now the Father has open arms again, saying, hey, come forth from the east of Eden and come back into the garden. Because somebody vouched for you. Somebody made a way for you. And that somebody is Christ. So now you can go back to being a joint governor. Now you can go back to being a joint king. Now you can go back to being joint gods. You can go back to ruling. No more slaving and serving and being subject to payments. No more toiling, working and not seeing a dime. No more any of that stuff like that. You can go back to being the rulers of the earth. Go ahead, Mama.
So that's, could you read that Romans 5?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Romans 5:1 says, therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ.
But the key word is justified by what? Faith. You believe that Christ has what? Justified you. And guess what? If you have been justified by Christ, you no longer are trying to justify yourself through what? The law of Moses. Because guess what? I've been justified by Christ. And guess what? We follow who now? We follow after Christ. We take orders from Christ. And what is Christ's orders? That we walk in love, which is seen in how you treat your brothers and sisters, as well as what? Abstaining from the lust of the flesh, which guess what that does? Involves hurting your brothers and sisters. So we don't walk in fear. Oh, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, God gonna kill me. He gonna do this and that. We don't worry about that. Because Christ justified me. He imputed righteousness to me because I believe. All right. Let's see. Now, verse 4. Verse 4, because this goes along with that Hebrews 5:1. This was the fourth question, but we can kind of take a look at that fourth question in this verse 4. Okay, when you get there, Mom, go ahead.
And no man taketh this honor unto himself, but he that is called of God, as was Aaron.
Now, that's your key, that is called of God. Now, brothers and sisters, no man take what honor? It says, no man take this honor unto himself. Take what unto himself? Take this honor unto himself. What honor? What is it talking about, brothers and sisters? That's what I want to know. What is that talking about? No man taketh this honor unto himself. No man taketh this honor unto himself. What honor? Yeah, there we go, brothers and sisters. That's right. Ian, Charian, Salika, Linda Alexander. Yes, sir. That's what it is right there. No man, brothers and sisters, can make themselves a high priest. No man can make themselves chosen by God. God is the one that chose. You can't make yourself anything. And beyond the high priest, that's whether you're on the lowest of the totem pole or the highest on the totem pole. God the one do the choosing. So no man maketh himself high priest. God has to choose you. You had, and we know you had to be chosen for that. But he that is called of God, as was Aaron. And it's a reason why the writer of Hebrews is saying that. Because sometimes when God choose you, brothers and sisters, for something, man don't like it. I don't like that God chose you. God don't care what you think. I chose him. I chose her. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 7:6. God choose us, brothers and sisters, not the other way around. Just like the priest's office, you had to be chosen for that. God chose the high priest to wield his government and to institute it among the people. Okay, and when you get there, go ahead.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
It said, what? The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. And you got the heathen. Well, first off, you got Satan and you got the heathen. They are mad because what? God had chose us to be what? And to do what? To be the gods on this earth and to rule. But here's the thing. The Lord don't care if you don't like it. He said, I have chosen. But notice how Israel, they didn't do anything special to be chosen. God did the choosing because there were many nations on this earth. But he decided, hey, I'm going to choose the children of Israel. Hey, I'm going to choose Abraham. Abraham had brothers, didn't he? He said, hey, I'm going to choose Isaac. I'm going to choose Jacob. Right? The person that do the choosing, they can do whatever they want. That's like I got a treasure chest full of items. And I look through the treasure chest and I'm looking and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to choose this yo-yo out of the treasure chest. That's going to be my special item. Did that yo-yo do anything to be chosen? It was just in there. The chooser is the one that looked in there and said, I'm going to choose this thing right here. It ain't no different with the Lord. Well, in the same manner, the Lord did that with who? Christ. I'm going to choose Christ as my high priest. And I assure you, the high priests, the earthly ones, oh, they were not happy about that. But we're going to get into that a little later here. Let's read Hebrews 5 and verse 5 and 6. So the high priest did not make himself the high priest. He was chosen. Okay, so Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 5 and 6. And when we get there, go ahead.
So also Christ glorified not himself to be made an high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son, today have I begotten thee.
In other words, Christ did not make himself the high priest. He did not make himself the governor. But the Father did what? The Father sent him on this earth in the flesh and said, this one Christ, I'm choosing him to be my what? My high priest. I'm choosing him to be what? The governor. That's why it say right here, thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. So we see that it was more than just him saying, thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. No, that was literally the Father through the angel literally saying, I'm choosing my son as the high priest. And what they didn't, and the thing about it too, and says, thou art my son, today I have begotten thee, basically saying, hey, I'm choosing my son as a high priest. The moment Christ came, brothers and sisters, that was a declaration to the earthly high priest that what? You're fired. Remember Vince McMahon used to say you're fired? Boy, he used to be slobbing and everything. Slobbing everywhere. But by him sending him his son, the Father, that was basically him saying, I'm firing this earthly high priest. The earthly high priest and that government that I gave them is going to the wayside. It's going to be blown away. And my son, I'm going to give him a new government. And guess what? Not only a new government, but a new people. And he's going to institute this new government among the new people, the new 12 tribes of the children of Israel. That's right, Shakitha. They time was up. Serena Smalls, an eviction notice. That's right. That's exactly what it was. Okay, let's go to Psalm 2. We're going to read verse 6 and 7. We getting there, y'all. Psalm 2, 6 and 7. Psalm 2, 6 and 7. All right. When you get there, go ahead.
Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion.
So the Father, he's saying, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. To the people, over the people. But he's saying, I set my king. I'm choosing Christ to be the king over my people. Verse 7.
I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee.
In other words, I'm choosing you to be the king. I'm choosing you to be the high priest. I'm choosing you to be the governor. And ain't nothing Israel, especially them unbelievers, ain't nothing they can do about it. Because God chooses whom he wills. Go on here.
And to just back up what you were saying in 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 1, we see a shadow of this. Oh, yes, ma'am. It's that one right there. It says, And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long will you mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil, and go, and I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons.
That's right. And remember, you ain't just rejecting the king. When you reject the king, or in this case, we've been talking the high priest, you also reject what? That government.
The government. And we see that Samuel will represent the apostles who came and said, How long are you going to keep mourning for this old priesthood, for the Levites? The Lord has rejected them from ruling over Israel.
That's right.
He's kicking them out of office. And now he has anointed his son, because that's an anointing. This is he's being ordained, or like a coronation.
Right.
And that's what happened to Jesus. Did not he get anointed? And that's what you was talking about. It was more than, this is my
that's why I say,
son.
And this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. That's basically, like you said, it was a heralding. It was a coordination.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the king. This is the high priest that I have chosen to rule over my people.
And notice what he said. I have provided me a king among his sons.
For me, a king.
A king. But notice what he used, sons.
Son.
It's like he said, this is my beloved son.
And see, the high priest and stuff, they didn't like that. Because they knew what Jesus was, and they didn't like that. They wanted to retain power. But the Lord still gave them the boot.
Oh, that's it. Verse 13. I was looking.
Oh, go ahead.
It says, Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him. We saw that in Hebrews, that anointing.
That's right.
And anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. And remember, we seen that with Jesus, right? When that Spirit came down in the form of a dove.
That's right.
That was the Lord saying, This is my king. This is who I've chosen.
And then from there, Christ had to be perfected. That's when his temptations began.
Just like David.
Like David, right after that, that's when David, amen, he began to go through some stuff.
He had to suffer, basically, before he
got to be perfected.
That's right.
And if that happened to Christ, brothers and sisters, that it happens to us as well. Because you as well is being coronated as what? Kings, queens, priests. So guess what? You finna suffer. Because you must, at all costs, brothers and sisters, you must be perfected. Okay. Yeah, well, actually, I got it right here. Let's go to Matthew 3, 16 and 17. Matthew 3, 16 and 17. Okay, and when you get there, go ahead.
Matthew 3 and 16 says, And Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lightning upon him.
Right.
And lo, a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased."
Right. And that was him basically, that was basically a coronation. That was him saying, hey, listen, this is who I have chose to be king. This is who I have chose to be high priest and ruler. But the problem was, is there was already rulers in the land. So the high priest and the priest like, hey, man, who is you?
Mm-hmm.
By what authority?
Yeah.
When Jesus was telling them, by the authority of my Father, by the authority of God. Of course, they didn't believe that. They like, no, we in charge. But God showed them 70 AD, nah, you ain't in charge. And he gave them the boot. He put a physical end to that Levitical priesthood and as well as that government.
Mm-hmm.
He did. And all in them Judeans that laughed at the northern kingdom, well, guess what? You became Gentiles as well, scattered to the four winds.
Yep.
Only picking your inheritance back up by Christ. If not, you will remain a Gentile suffering the same fate that they will suffer. All right. Let's go back to Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 6. Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 6. Okay, go ahead.
As he saith also in another place, "Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek."
And see, it's funny because if you look at the earthly high priests, you know, they died.
Yes.
And then another high priest took their place and stuff. But this one, Christ, he's going to be the high priest forever because why? Christ never dies. Christ is eternal. Christ is God. So guess what? He is the high priest forever. But it says after the order of Melchizedek. So not the order of Aaron, because that was an order in the time past after the order of Aaron. But here he says after the order of Melchizedek. Let's go real quick to Hebrews chapter 7 and 2. And let's see why it say the order of Melchizedek. We're going to look at that. Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 2. And our key is in finding out what Melchizedek means. Okay. All right, go ahead.
To whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation king of righteousness.
Okay, so this is to my Melchizedek, right? But by interpretation, it means the king of righteousness. Because why? Christ, he was able to bring forth the righteousness that the earthly high priest was not able to bring forth. Okay, because remember, the only thing the old high priest and the priests under them could do was just like an x-ray. All they could do was just diagnose. You're a sinner. You have sinned. Right? That's why it showed you the whole thing with leprosy. The only thing they could do is declare you with leprosy and put you outside of the camp. But they had no power to heal. They had no power to make whole. They had no power to make you what? Righteous. But Christ was able to. Christ was able to say, hey, yeah, you a sinner. You got this, you got that, but I can heal you. I can make you whole. That's why you seen in his ministry, he was going to the blind, the leprous, those that were sick, those that had demons, those that had all of these different ailments, because that represented that sin. That represented Christ being able to cleanse you and make you whole, make you righteous from those things. And Christ, he was able to do it. He was able to make us righteous. And that is to say what? Keep reading.
And after that, also King of Salem, which is King of Peace.
That is to say Christ was able to do what? Make peace between you and the Father.
Yes.
I mean, it's it's literally simple, brothers and sisters. But that's what made Christ the superior high priest, is he was able to bring forth a gift, a sacrifice that was able to do what? Appease the Father, abolishing the wrath that the Father had for Adam and his descendants, being the children of Israel. He was able to abolish that wrath. And so now, guess what? We can go back into the garden now. And truly, in terms of spiritually, that wrath has truly been abolished. We now have the favor of God on us. And so now the second part is what we're waiting on. Okay? It's a part of the promise, and that's to do what? Physically come back and get us from out of the east of Eden. Right? Remember how Adam was sent over there? That's like Adam being sent into captivity. Right? So that's like the Lord going east in Eden, and that's like him grabbing us and taking us back to the garden. That's what's going to happen physically when Christ returns. Hey, come on back from the east to Eden. Let's go back to this garden. And you're going to have enemies, brothers and sisters. They don't want you to go back. And that's why the Lord, as well as the ones he's redeeming, got to fight. Through violence will we be freed. Through violence will we take over this earth. Through violence, we will finally get out of this hellish nightmare called captivity. And it's all that simple, brothers and sisters. But before that could happen, peace had to be made between us and God. Because as far as he was concerned, we deserved it. And we continuously deserved it until what? His wrath was appeased. And that's what Christ came to do, to appease the wrath of the Father from us. And now that that's being done, we are waiting on the promise to be saved out of this captivity, to be delivered from our enemies. The nations do not need to be delivered because they are the oppressor.
That's right.
They are the problem. They are the ones causing our heartache, our sorrow, our pain, our tears. They don't need to be saved, brothers and sisters. We need to be saved from them. And any Israelite that's got a problem with that, you get them out of here. We don't got no time for no step it, fetch it Negroes. Because you got a lot of Israelites, boy, they love their master. That's one thing I never underestimate. It's some right here in the chat too. They be masquerading, walking around in a disguise, but they love their masters. And it don't matter if I see him, God see him. And he said, I'm going to let you enjoy pleasures with him for a season, and I'm going to get you at the end. That's right. All I'm saying is just don't bring that junk over here. Go love them somewhere else. Don't come over here with that. We got to see them all week. We want a break. We got to deal with them and hear about them all week. We want a break over here.
Yes.
Give us a break. All right, Hebrews 5. Now we're going to read verse 7 and 8. But seeing that Christ was chosen as king, governor, high priest, ruler, he was given the government of God. to implement among the people, and it's being implemented right among us, brothers and sisters. Right among us, the new nation, the new 12 tribes of Israel. We are obeying the voice of Christ. And what are we doing? What is Christ's government? Simply to walk in love. You walk in love, that will bring about unity. That will bring about healthy families, healthy marriages, healthy relationships in general, unity that cannot be broken by the enemy. Unity that causes the rise of a kingdom, the rise of a nation that'll allow you to overthrow an existing nation. When we abstain from the lust and the desires of the flesh, brothers and sisters, which is low vibrational, that's what keeps you down, the pleasure. And that fleshly pleasure, brothers and sisters, that involves hurting your brothers and sisters. Because you got to do something to somebody in whatever way to get that pleasure fulfilled. This is why we don't chase after the lust of the flesh. All right. So Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 7 and 8. Okay, and when you get there, go ahead.
Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers
In the days of who flesh? Christ, when he had offered up prayers and what?
and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared.
Okay, and we're going to start right there. In the days of his flesh, talking about Christ, he had offered up prayers and supplications. So this is Christ, you know, before we know he was God, but he came down in the flesh to be high priest, governor, king, but he had to suffer, brothers and sisters, to be perfected. But during his ministry, we seen that a lot, that he prayed. But this is more specifically dealing with the final obedience in the Garden of Gethsemane. That was Christ's final obedience. Will you go through with the will of God? This is it. And with prayers and supplications and strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was what? Heard in that he feared. In other words, when Christ was in the Garden of Gethsemane, brothers and sisters, when he was praying, he wasn't really praying to be delivered. He was praying for obedience because his flesh was acting up. That flesh would tear you apart, brother. It was acting up. And you know it was way worse for Christ because he actually had power to deliver himself. See, we ain't got no power at all. That's what made Christ's obedience way harder, especially during his ministry, was because he actually had world-ending power. And to submit himself the way he did it was extraordinary, brothers and sisters. If some of us had power, this earth would have been destroyed 8, 9, 10 times over.
Yes, that's right.
But what he was praying for in the Garden of Gethsemane, brothers and sisters, he was praying that the Lord give him endurance.
Yes.
That the Lord allow him to be obedient and go through with his will. Remember, he told Pilate, he said, if I wanted it, Pilate, I would not be given over to the Jews. Wait, what? And on top of that, Pilate, I will end the entire Roman Empire right now. I will end the world. We'll go to Judgment Day right now. Pilate said, wait, what? He washed them hands quick. But him being delivered into the hands of the Jews, that was the will of the Father. the Father say, you must go through this in order for me to give you this kingship, this government, to become the Son of God. See, you're the Son of God right now through faith, but you'll be the Son of God when you die and I resurrect you. You'll truly be the Son of God.
Yes, sir.
Let's go real quick to Matthew 26, 36 through 39. We almost there, brothers and sisters. Matthew 26, 36 through 39. He prayed to God for him to be able to overcome that flesh.
Yes,
to remain, to restrain, to give him strength. Lord, help me continue to be obedient. God, help me. And we know why he was doing this prayer, because all you have to do is go to when he was talking to Pilate. That's what Christ was fighting. Jesus said, man, Pilate, he said, if it was me, he said, I would not be delivered into the hand of the Jews. And he said, and on top of that, I'll destroy you in the entire Roman Empire. We will go to judgment day today. Pilate said. He ran and put that what he said. Matthew 26, 30. I'm talking about his hands was wet up to his forearms.
His hands got wrinkly.
They was wrinkly. The thing was so soaked up and soppy from that water. All right, Matthew 26, 36 through 39. Go ahead.
Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder.
Because remember, it was time for the unbelieving Jews to take him and deliver him over into the hands of the Romans to be crucified. And we know that this was the will of the Father for Christ.
Yes.
If he wanted to redeem his people, the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. And what Jesus said?
Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder.
And he took with what?
And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy.
Because he knew the time his crucifixion was coming, where he had to be delivered up. He knew his enemies had to talk an incredible amount of trash in his face, spitting on him, ripping his beard, slapping him. And we talking about Jesus here. He has world-ending, existence-ending power. And his flesh was acting up, sorrow and heavy. Okay. Go ahead with this 38.
Okay. Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry you here and watch with me.
That's right. Because okay, go ahead with this 39.
And he went a little farther and fell on his face
and prayed. His flesh was acting up. Boy, go ahead.
And saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
In other words, brothers and sisters, Christ was actually praying for obedience, strength, endurance. Lord, help me. Because brothers and sisters, he was his soul was exceeding sorrowful and all of that, because he had to restrain himself, brothers. So you got to remember, Christ was also God, and so he had power. And what was his flesh telling him? No, man, you ain't got to do this. You can get up right now. When they come, you ain't got to do none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and wipe them. I wipe the floor with them. And then the Romans, you moved to them next. Flesh was talking crazy.
Yep.
He was going through it, boy.
And that's why I always say nobody's death will ever supersede Christ's. 'Cause
Ever.
without him, we
was toast.
was done.
And that's what was on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So Christ was battling, do you save yourself or do you let all of your people die? Do I want to take this bullet for my people?
That's right.
Man, and here's the thing, and that's what the temptation was, brothers and sisters. He had the power.
Yes.
One word is over. And not only that, you had the Jews opening their fat mouth when he was on the cross. Yeah, just get off the cross. They was literally telling him, get off the cross. Do you not know he could have gotten off of that cross if he wanted to?
Mm-hmm.
But he did what? He submitted to God. And the Father helped him.
Yes.
He gave him the strength. He gave them endurance. And brothers and sisters, that's why I told you, that's why you need to pray.
Yes, sir.
Because in the time of your temptation, if you prayed the Father, he'll hear that.
Yes.
And he will comfort you and he will strengthen your spirit to get through whatever it is that you're going through. And Christ, we thank you, man, for your sacrifice.
Amen.
That's rough.
Yes.
My
Lord.
goodness.
Lord, I thank you.
And the fact that he didn't have to do it either, brothers and sisters, because Christ wasn't the one that sinned. We did.
That's right.
That's supposed to be you. But he was willing to take that so you ain't have to deal with the death that the Father got for you. Not willing that any of us would perish. If Christ did not do that, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, you're finished. There would have been no new covenant. You would have abided under the old covenant under death. All right, brothers and sisters. Now, let's go ahead and read this Hebrews chapter 5, and we're going to take a look at verse 8. Hebrews 5 and verse 8. When you get there, go ahead.
Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered.
So it says Christ, though he was a son, yet learned obedience by the things which he suffered. And so it's not saying that he learned obedience in the sense of he was once disobedient and then he learned to become obedient. No, he learned the experience of obedience.
Oh, yes.
He learned the experience, brothers and sisters, of obedience, which meant what? Experiencing suffering. Because if you're having to be obedient, brothers and sisters, that means there is something there that's trying to get you to do something different.
Yes, sir.
And so you're having to do something to remain obedient. You're having to fight, scratch, claw, cry, be sorrowful, grit your teeth, punching holes through a wall and the holes everywhere to remain obedient. So he learned the experience of obedience, which meant he had to learn how to endure. Because guess what? He can't have nobody outdoing him, your own creation. No, he had to come down and experience it.
Yes.
I got to know what this obedience is like. And he found out. Suffering, sorrow, tears, crying. But thank goodness Christ overcame.
Amen.
Obedience. brothers and sisters. That's what that word, like when it say submit, that's a fighting word. Obedience, that's a fighting word. These are fighting words. Because you fighting what you want to do. So that way you could do the will of whoever said you need to do something else. Hey, don't walk around. Don't be a wrathful man. Don't be a wrathful woman. And that's what the Lord tell you. And then sure enough, here comes Satan, go send somebody to drive you nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to fight and claw to not be wrathful.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Christ went through it. Now we going through it. All right, Hebrews 5, and we're going to read verse 9.
You was doing that Philippians 2.
Yes. Nah, for the sake of redundancy.
Okay.
So Hebrews 5, and we're going to read verse 9 and 10. Okay, go ahead.
And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him.
Okay, being made perfect meaning what? He suffered. He experienced the same temptations that we experience due to the flesh. But what made him perfect, brothers and sisters, was the fact that he didn't sin. He went through everything that we went through, but he didn't sin. And that's what made him righteous. He overcame every obstacle, every temptation. And it says he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that, don't forget now, all them that obey him. So he ain't the author of everybody's salvation, just those that obey him. Okay. Yeah, so you want to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, because he said he's now the author unto all them that obey him. So guess what? It go back to what you were saying. Now we also going to have to show that obedience. Because if we got to obey him, that means that we're going to go through suffering.
That's right.
And we're going to have to overcome just like he did to be in obedient, to continue in obedience to him.
That's right. Through much suffering.
Through suffering.
The kingdom of God.
And a lot of believers, we have to have that same mindset just like Christ. Because a lot of times when we pray, we're mostly looking at, asking for things that we feel are going to benefit us.
Right.
But sometimes the things that the Lord allow in your life are not going to be things that make you feel good. They're going to be fun. It's going to require you saying, okay, Lord, I don't like this. It's making me uncomfortable. This hurts, but your will
be done. That's right. It's hard-headed and in your face. But see, brothers and sisters, that's what made the Lord, again, the author of our salvation. It was the fact that he was able to experience what we experienced, but without actually sinning. And that made him superior over us. Verse 10.
Called of God and high priest.
A high priest.
After the order of Melchizedek.
So he was the high priest. Christ is the high priest of righteousness. Because why? He is able to make us righteous, which no other high priest, earthly high priest, was ever able to do. They were never able to make the people righteous or themselves, but Christ was able to. Now, let's go ahead and do Hebrews 5, and we're going to read verse 11 and 12. Okay, Hebrews 5, verse 11 and 12. Okay. Now, the writer of Hebrews, he continues. What does he say? 11.
Of whom we have many things to say and hard to be uttered, seeing you are dull of hearing.
So we got all that great stuff, It's to my Christ, Melchizedek, and the writer of Hebrews is like, it's so much more that I want to say. He said, but unfortunately, you are what? Carnal. That's what he's saying, basically. You're spiritually undiscerned. Because Israel is very touchy. They're very physical, outward.
Yes.
And so when you're talking about spiritual matters, huh? But what about the law? Huh? What about the feast days? The holy day, huh? So you'd be like, you'd be like, my goodness. Verse 12. Go ahead.
For when for the time you ought to be teachers.
Okay. Because you should be getting to the point to where you understand these things, these spiritual matters, these higher matters, and you should be getting to the point where you're able to teach these things, but
You have need that one teach you again.
Which what?
Be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
Okay, and that milk and the first principles of God, those things are one and the same. In other words, you got to go back to the basics. Because what? You're carnal. You got to grow. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3, verse 1 through 4. Because we're going to take a look at what these first principles are and this milk is. So 1 Corinthians 3, 1 through 4.
Hold on. What happened? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 1 Corinthians 3 and 1. And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto carnal, but
It
as
says, brethren, I could not speak unto you as unto spiritual. Okay, I couldn't speak to you about spiritual, I'll read it, spiritual things, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Christ. And the problem with Israel is they always see the surface of things. They never can see the underlying message that God is trying to get them to see. This is why when they're reading the law and the prophets, they're reading it in Braille. They're reading it with their eyes wide shut. They cannot see Christ in the spirit behind it, which is that which we are to obey. The underlying, the spirit behind it, the message behind it is what Christ is telling us to obey from the law and the prophets. And that's why brothers and sisters say, well, we're not under the law and the prophets. Then what do we teach our children? The law and the prophets. And they'll hear that statement and say, well, that don't make any sense, because they're looking with their eyes wide shut. Okay, 2.
I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are you able.
Okay, keep going.
For you are yet carnal, for whereas there is among you envying,
Which was proof of their carnality, because there was what? Envy.
and strife and divisions, are you not carnal and walk as men?
Walk as men, and don't look at it as walk as men, brother. So it's saying and walk as slaves, because he's telling you that's what slaves do.
Right.
They're surface level. They care about stupid stuff. They're very surface level. Their life doesn't go past what they see, what they feel, what they eat. And proof of that is the envying, the strifes, the divisions, and the carnality. Yeah. You're simpletons, and that's low vibrational. And I'm sure you've heard Israelites say that. Low vibrational, that's what that's talking about. That's why it said walk as men, meaning walk as slaves. Ain't that's what Christ said? But ye shall die like men
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what it's talking about? You're going to die like some slaves.
Ooh.
You a slave.
Mm.
Always focusing on the surface things, never being able to grasp the underlying meaning, the spiritual. And that's Israel's Achilles heel. Why? Because they don't believe. Okay. You had read all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now back to Hebrews 5. And we're going to read verse 13 and 14. And brothers and sisters, we will be done. Okay. Hebrews 5, verse 13 and 14. Go ahead.
For everyone that uses milk
Or
is
the first principles is unskillful in what?
in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
It says, for he is a babe, and a babe or a baby needs, or somebody that's young needs to do what? They need to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead, 14.
But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
And so that lets you know that those that use the milk or the first principles, they're spiritually undiscerned. This is why when you're speaking of spiritual things to them, they don't seem to understand. They're always asking all of these questions. What about this? And what about that though? And look at this over here. Because they're spiritually undiscerned. They have not grown in Christ. They're still babies. They're still children. But God got something for you that'll make you grow. Something that's going to help you do what? Exercise these senses.
Yes.
Something that's going to make you spiritual. You don't understand you're not spiritual. You're a carnal Israelite. God got something for you that's going to assist you. That is going to help you. I mean, this is help like you ain't never seen it. Let's go to Matthew 9, verse 14 and 15. Yeah, Madeline Cross, I see your comment in the chat. Yeah, just set it up and then, just email it to us at Israel's Church and we'll make sure it get out to the people so that way they can give. All right. But Matthew 9, 14 and 15, because if you're spiritually undiscerned, you still on the milk, God got something that's going to help you. He got some aid for you. Go ahead. We're going to find out what it is too.
Then came to him the disciples of John.
And see, this is why I don't worry about these Israelites. Because I be seeing how carnal they is. Some of their comments, they be super carnal. I'm like, then came to him the disciples of John. The same, now remember, John got his head cut off. And so now his disciples, they scatter. Naturally coming under Christ. Go ahead.
Saying, why do we and the Pharisees fast oft, but thy disciples fast not?
And fasting, because remember, the disciples of John and all of them, they went through a lot. Okay, it says, why do we and the Pharisees fast often, but thy disciples fast not? Because remember, fasting too was also symbolic of mourning, right? It was symbolic of mourning. 15.
And Jesus said unto them, can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and then they shall fast.
And so, in other words, what that means right now, a lot of y'all, your teachers, And all of that, your pastors, whoever, they're shouldering the burden for you, brothers and sisters. They guiding you, they're helping you, trying to lift you up. But the day is going to come, brothers and sisters, where he going to move them away and you're going to have to stand on your own. The Lord going to see what you made of. He going to put some trials on you is what I'm saying. He going to make you experience hell, brothers and sisters, but it's necessary for growth, don't he?
A good example of that is just, parents and their children.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you're a child, your parents take care of everything.
That's right.
They're teaching you, they're training you, they're trying to get you ready for the real world.
You see that in the animal
And
kingdom.
you don't take it serious, because you a kid. You don't care about all that. Talking about paying bills and all this, I want to go to the park. I want to have fun with my friends.
So when she trying to tell you stuff about life, you're undiscerned.
Right.
You don't know what she's really talking about.
Right, because you're still a babe. You're young. So you don't feel the full weight of what they have to bear every day.
Exactly.
And I remember we was growing up too. What we used to always hear, you'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. Mm-hmm.
I see.
Because the Lord, he going to bring some trials and he going to bring some suffering.
Yeah. And so now, once you get grown and you get out there, now the responsibility and weight is on you.
Right.
Now you feeling the things that your parents was trying to tell you about. Now it makes sense.
Now, why am I saying all of this? Because it's something that we understand about God. Brothers and sisters, understand this, and if you've read your Bible. You don't get to hear this word for free. You do, but you don't. Brothers and sisters, the Lord, he going to let you learn. He going to let you soak in a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of philosophy and principles of his. But you must be tested, brothers and sisters. He's going to test you on these things that you hear, these things that you learn. And when he come to test you, brothers and sisters, I can't help you. You're on your own. All I can say is, hey, sister, brother, hang in there, pray to the Most High. But guess who got to get through it? You. When me and my family, when we go through some stuff, first off, we ain't got nobody to run to. And second of all, we got to get through it. We have our own trials, our own suffering. We got to get through that. Because the Lord also tests us on the things that we learn and the things that we hear. So just know, brothers and sisters, when you're hearing this word, this is not free. When you hearing this word, it's going to bring trouble your way, but life.
Yes.
Because the life is what preceded. But it's going to bring trouble your way. And this is why a lot of people, they don't want to deal with the Bible because a lot of them know what come with it too. They be like, I ain't trying to deal with all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, get my little feel good on and get out of here. But they don't want to deal with it. Lighthouse Bible discuss, there will be no feast day calendar this year. Because under Christ, brothers and sisters, we do not keep the feast. That was given under Moses. We are under Christ now. And brothers and sisters, Christ must be preached. But I don't want to get into that because that's a whole nother subject. But we will be doing a series, but no, we're not keeping no holy days or any feasts. Because those things was all about Christ and what he would do. And so Christ must be preached. Okay. But I got a series for that. Actually, it's sitting right on my desk. But we'll get to that. But brothers and sisters, did I read everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. They shall fast. But yeah, back to what I was saying, brothers and sisters, that test coming. Like the feast days and the holy days, those things were carnal, brothers and sisters. The Lord like, hey man, it's time to walk it out. It's time to graduate. That's right. It's time to move on to Christ. And I know our people. I know how they are. I ain't doing none of that. I don't care what you say. Hey, it's okay. But God got something for you. That's not a threat. I'm just telling you how God operates.
Mm-hmm.
He got something that's going to help you see. Something that's going to make you spiritual. Because our people so bad want to think that what they do with their hands or some observance, they think that that's what's going to make them righteous. Performance.
Mm-hmm.
But some things, brothers and sisters, it don't have to be said. Some things must be experienced.
Mm.
Because God's people, the new 12 tribes of Israel, we know the deal. We know the deal. All right, brothers and sisters, but that is it. I hope you guys got some understanding. And as I always say, always, I know we be up here teaching and stuff, but make sure you look through this word yourself. I could go nuts one day. You don't ever want nobody to get up over on you. So always make sure you do your own due diligence. Always make sure you study, open the word, take your own notes. So that way you could come to the understanding that God wants you to come to. All right, but that's it, brothers and sisters. I thank you for your time, and God willing, I will see you in the next lesson. Shalom.